Hello, welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations in Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and tonight I'd like to do a very interesting sea creature that everybody knows about. I want to do an octopus with the 8 arms, and it's a really cool animal to do. And I'll show you how to make that with all the eyes and the tentacles and things in the arms, and it's really cool, and how to make the little suction cups underneath the arms. And I'll show you the types of clay that you can use. There's an oil-based clay such as this, which never hardens, and it can be used again and again. As I mentioned in the past, I used to use this all the time as a kid, and I'd make all kinds of animals, and then when I get tired of them, I'd make new ones. Another type of clay that you can use is an air-hardening clay such as this, which can be bought in the art store. And it hardens like in a couple of hours or overnight. And you can only use it once, and then you can paint it and then put it in the shelf. It's a good clay to use if you want to keep something permanent. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be fired in the oven at 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. You can sand it, drill it. You can make a tremendous amount of detail with it, and that's what I love about this clay. The size balls of clay that we'll be using tonight are this size right here. This will be the size for the head and pretty much the body. And then what I did is I have 8 smaller balls here that we will use for the arms. And I'll show you how to do that. What I'd like to do is I'll start off with the arms. What we'll do is you can use the table for this. We can take and roll this back and forth. See how I'm rolling this? We want to roll these into the arms. Just roll it like that. And we're going to do all 8 of them in a similar manner. As I'm finishing up the last one, I want to make sure that they're all approximately the same length. If one's a little longer than the other, it doesn't matter. But just roll it out, and we'll have them all set to go for when we make the octopus head and body. And as you can see here, they're all approximately the same length. I'll hold a couple up so you can kind of see. You can see that they're approximately the same length, and we have 8 of those now. So the next step in the process is I want to show you, we've already made these 8 legs or arms. The next step in this process is we want to make the head and the body right here on the octopus. And we will use some additive techniques for the clay, because there's a couple of things like the eyes, and then some like the gills and which water go through. And I have some additional clay that I have for that. So we're going to take this ball of clay here, and we're going to make the shape of the head and the body. I'll show you, just kind of pull it just like this. What you kind of want to do is kind of pull it out on this end. This will be like the back part of the head. And then you want to kind of pull down on this piece here. See, I'm pulling down on that. Just going to pull down a little bit. And what I want to do is I want to tap this on the table to kind of create the bottom. So we're going to go like this. Just like that. And now we'll be able to work it a little more. And we'll continue working the piece of clay. And I'll show you the shape. See how the shape is, that's kind of like the back part of the head. And this is going to be the front part. I'm going to just take and work it like that. Just like that. And then another thing that we'd like to do is now we can kind of create the eyes. So see, I'm kind of pulling this up a little bit. Just like that. See how I'm kind of creating that eye? See how it's kind of taking shape? We're going to make another eye approximately on the same side, or the other side. I'm going to try to make sure that they're about the the same in terms of size and where they're located. See how I did that? Then you got that eye there. You got that eye there. See how and then just kind of make little indentations with your fingers. And we'll do that. And then it's kind of like the shape that you want. See that? And then I'll show you, we're gonna take our toothpick, these can be bought like in the supermarket or a CVS. I like this one because they have the two sharp ends. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the eye. So what we're gonna do is I just poke a hole there, and then we're gonna take and kind of go back and forth. Just like that. See how we kind of just rotate it around to create that shape that we want. So it almost looks like a little football of sorts. See how we did that? So I'm just going to take and just do a little more on that. And then we're going to proceed to do the other side. We'll do the same thing. I'm going to take and do that, poke a hole there. See how we're doing that? And just kind of go back and forth like that. Just like that. And then I want to just make sure I made the eye big enough. And then what we want to do is we want to take the additive technique. I want to take and create some eyeballs. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this down on the table, and I do have some additional clay here. I'm going to take some clay off this ball here, and I'm going to take and make a very small ball of clay for the eye, and I'll show you. I'll make the two of them first, and then I'll show them just the size that we want. Okay, you just roll it into a little ball. So these are the size balls of clay that you want for the eyes. Let me see. Hopefully you can see that. It's very, very tiny. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and put those into the eye sockets. And I'll show you how to do that. Put those on the table. And then we're going to take and just kind of push them in like this. So I just kind of put that in there. And then we're going to take and put it on the other side. Do the same exact thing. Push that in there. See that? And then what I want to do is kind of make an outline around the eye. Kind of go with the, see with the toothpick? Just kind of go around it. I want to kind of create that effect. So just kind of go around it with the toothpick like that. Make the outline. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You want to go, kind of just do the outline of the eye. And do that. What I like about these types of eyes, they're very menacing looking when you paint them black. Now that we've done that, there's one other thing that I'd like to do. We need to use tin foil. Let me get my tin foil here. And you can buy this in the supermarket. And what I want to do is crinkle it up, but really small, to make. And what we want to do is make the texture on the octopus. So we're going to take this and just kind of make it small and just kind of tap it ever so slightly like this and go all around the octopus. You want to kind of create that texture of the skin. It's a really cool texture. Just go around like this, just like that. I'm going to go all the way around And just kind of just tap it ever so slightly. And then we'll do underneath. Just like that. And it's pretty cool, the effect that you get right here. See how they, that nice texture for the skin? And just go around and should be in good shape. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place this down on the table. We're going to start working with our legs. And I'll show you what we're going to do. I'm going to take the octopus that I made last night. See this? We're going to attach the legs all around the body. So you're going to probably put like a couple in the back. One, and then you're probably going to put 4 here, then a couple here, and I'll show you how to do that. We're going to take and we're going to take this, see on the table, we're going to place the arm here like this. Just kind of work it up against there. Just kind of work that in like that. See, I'm just kind of placing that in there. And just work it in. And then we'll approximately do, we'll do another one right here. See that? And just kind of work it in. Just like that. And then we're going to take another one. We'll just place it there, just like that. And then we'll place another one here. See that? And then we can place that one there. So I want to make sure I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And take this and place that approximately right here. See, I'm just kind of working into the body. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place a couple on the back here. So just take and work that in. See how I press it into the clay? Just like that. And we're going to do the other side here. Do the exact same thing. Just like that, working in nicely. So what I'd like to do is we'll put this down on the table right now. Let's see. Kind of gets a little tangled. A lot of legs here. So you put that down. And you do that. And then what you do, now we can take our tin foil again and kind of, see how I'm going around there again? You want to go around and just do that. And then what I like to do is I like to kind of take each one of these arms and just kind of round it off a little bit at the end, taper it off. I'm going to take, see how I'm pushing these into the table? Kind of push that into the table to flatten it out. I'm going to take and do the same thing on this one. And you do each one of these the same way, kind of just push it into the table to kind of give it that flat edge. I'm going to do this. Just like that. Just going to push it into the table. And I'm going to take, just going to push it like that. And then we're going to go all the way around. Just kind of push it in like that. The next thing that we want to do is, I kind of want to make like, I call them gills here. The water kind of flows in and out of them. I think that's how they get their oxygen. So we want to make this here and then kind of put like a little hole in it. Can you see that? And then we're going to do that and on the other side also. There's another one. So I'm going to take a couple of balls of clay, and I'll show you how we'll do this. Just make these little balls of clay like this. Just roll them in your fingers. And now what I'm going to do is kind of tap it in the end with my finger like that to kind of flatten it out. See that? You can flatten it out. And then we're going to take and we're going to put this on the octopus right about here. I'll show you. Approximately right there. Just like that. See how I'm putting that on there? Just like that, and just kind of work it in with your fingers. Just like that. And we're going to proceed to do the same thing on the other side. You see if I can, it's a little harder to turn him now that he's on the table, but we'll work it out. Then what you can see here, I'm going to place this approximately right here and just kind of work it in with your fingers. Just like that. And you can tap it with your finger to flatten it out, like that. So you can do it like I did in the other one. I did it before. This one here, we did it after. And what I'd like to do now is take the toothpick, and go like this. Kind of go in like that. Just kind of rotate it. Just like that. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just kind of take that, see that? And just kind of rotate it in that manner. And then if you want to you can take the tin foil again, just kind of tap around there, give it some texture. And we'll go and we'll do the texture on the other side. On there. And now what we want to do is we want to, on some of the tentacles, we want to create some texture on those also. So I'll put that down. But before we put this down, maybe I can hold up. We want to have a couple of the arms. I'll have it up like this. Like you can see this one here. See how I have this up here like this? I'm going to use this model right here. See I got the little holes there? I'll show you how to make those. And there's little holes in this one here. We're going to take the toothpick on a couple of these. See this arm here that I'm holding? Just take and kind of put a hole there. And then put like two holes next to each other. Like that. See how I did that? Take and go like that. And then take and just kind of rotate it a little bit. And then you go like that. And then you go like, see how that? You make those are like the little suction cups on the bottom of the tentacles or arms. And we'll just keep rotating. Put those in there like that. And then we don't have to do all the way. We only want to do on the part that's showing. So see how that, isn't that cool? You're going to put the arm up there like a little bit like that. And we'll proceed to do another one in the same manner. We'll proceed to do this one here. See this? And we're going to just make those little holes. Just like that. Just do them one side by side. And it looks like creates that effect of the suction cups that are on the bottom of the arms. That's how they can kind of grasp things and move around. So you just kind of put that up there a little bit like that. Have that like that. And then what we also want to do is create a little texture on the tentacles or arms. Just kind of tap it. See how we're doing that? Just kind of tap that. And you want to do all 8 arms in the same manner. Gives it a nice little texture. I'm going to go all the way around. Do the same thing. You know, you do it in the top, and then you can kind of hit it from the sides, like that. And do that for all 8 arms. And I'll show you what it, and then you can put the arms in whatever positions you want. See, I can just kind of move these around, and you can see how cool that is. So now when you finish, this is what your octopus should look like. See how I created that nice texture by tapping it with the tinfoil? And then how I made the holes. And you got the nice eyes. So you get the eyes there. Then you kind of like have those gills with the little holes in them. It's a very interesting creature, an octopus. I will proceed to show you how to paint that. I guess we can move our little sculpture here aside. Move that around a little bit. And I will show you the types of paintbrushes that we're going to use. For the eyes, I want to use a smaller brush. We'll use this small brush here for the eyes. And then we're going to use another brush for the suction cups on the bottom. And that will be this one here. And then for the body, which we'll be painting, I'll use this brush here, because right here. And the color paints that we want are, these are acrylic paints that can be bought in any art store. We want black, yellow, and orange. I'm going to use orange for the body, yellow for the bottom of the tentacles or arms, and then black for the eyes. We want to paint the eyes right here. Isn't that cool? It kind of gives it a very menacing look. And I'll proceed to paint the other side. I'll show you want to paint that, just dab that just ever so slightly. Just like that. You know, if you get a little more on the rest of the octopus, don't worry about that, because you can always go over it in with the orange paint and cover the black if you put too much there. And then the next thing I'll proceed to show you is how to paint the yellow under here for the suction cups. We're going to use yellow for that. And what I want to do is, see these here? We're going to kind of just dab them in there like that. Dab into the little holes that we made with a toothpick. And it gives it a really nice effect. It's a nice contrast with the orange. And then I'll proceed to do, we at least did 2 of them. So I'll paint, see this one here? We will paint, see how we just dab the holes that were made there. Just like that. Dab it nicely. It gives a really nice effect. Just want to make sure I painted that. Now, we want to do the body. So what I would do is I would start with the arms, kind of do the back and forth motion, like that. And then I paint on the sides, like this, just like that. See how we're doing that? And you want to get it on both sides. And we're going to do all 8 arms in the same manner. You go back and forth. And then see how I'm kind of getting it on the sides by doing it this way? You can just see how I just kind of, and then paint the other side like that. Now we're going to proceed to do the body. I won't show you how to do every leg or every arm. But just to give you the idea of what you need to do. So now with the body or the head, so you're just going to go up and down like that. Back and forth, back and forth. Then the top of the head. Back and forth. And then just kind of work around the eyes very slowly. Just try to get in as close as you can. And, you know, if you cover up some of the black, don't worry about it. You can repaint it. But just, and then we're going to paint all around, like those little gill openings, back and forth like that. Just go back and forth, back and forth. Just like that. You want to paint the body and the head in that manner. So we just go back and forth, back and forth. And I will show you what the finished octopus should look like. This is the finished version. And see how we got the nice yellow for the suction cups here? Very nice effect. And got the yellow there. By making those holes, it's a good way to make that effect for the suction cups. And then you see how all the arms are painted orange, both sides. And then you have the head, and the body, the gill openings there. And then I even painted the underside of the head here too. You don't have to paint the bottom of the tentacles or arms. But that's what your finished octopus should look like. And I do hope you enjoyed Creations in Clay tonight. And I do look forward to seeing you again next week. And goodbye for now. Thanks.